Okay. I think we're good. Hold on. Okay, so just take this off. Okay. All right. Anyway, so I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I did announce this yesterday that I was gonna do every Happy Tree Friends TV episode ranked tonight. So that's what we're gonna do. So I want to mention a couple things before we get started. First of all, this is actually not a tier list I had to find. I had to make this myself because I couldn't find one specifically for the TV season. So, long story short, I spent nearly 30 minutes making this list by going to YouTube, getting every title card from one video, thankfully, cropping them, making this list, and arranging everything because I could not find a specific one for the TV season. So, yeah, in total, I spent nearly 30 minutes making this. I was going to add another tier saying haven't seen or don't remember, but I had to do that because I reached a limit on this one for mobile. So, yeah. That's that. And secondly, I did tag Shokura when I posted that I would go live checking this out, but he never got back to me, so someone liked it, so, that's about it. So, yeah, he's not going to be here, which is a little unfortunate because he's like the Happy Tree Friends guy, but that's fine. So anyway, I don't have a lot to say. So yeah, we're going to be ranking every single TV season segment because each episode would have 3 segments consisting of 7-minute episodes. Like episode 1A or 1 has The Wrong Side of the Tracks, From Hero to Eternity, and the kitchen sink. So, I wasn't looking at my phone. There we go. So that's considered one episode, but I'm ranking every. Sorry, it's a little hard to see through my phone sometimes. So we're gonna go. We're gonna rank every single segment. So we may be here a while. So yeah, go ahead. Enjoy another decently long video, a long live stream. I did want to somewhat do this by video, but that would take way longer than this. So I'm fine going live and just doing this rather than having to rush a video that's going to take like maybe a month or 2 to make. So yeah, I'm fine with this. All right, so we're going to go in order from top to bottom, starting with The Wrong Side of the Tracks and ending with Autopsy Turvy, aka Double Whammy Part 2. And I should say spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen this series, but I'm not sure yet though. I mean, this series is pretty old. Like, you all have at least seen one episode, so I don't think there's a ton to talk about with this. So, and like usual, this is just simply my own opinion. If I rank an episode higher or lower that you probably weren't expecting, then just keep in mind this is my own opinion. And you may have noticed that instead of like a S, A, B, and C, and so forth, I decided to give a score out of 10 first segment. So I have 10 to 1 out of 10. And then again, haven't seen or don't remember. In fact, only one of these I haven't seen. That might be tongue-in-cheek, but that's about it. But I'm not sure yet, though. So I'm going to go into detail and talk about these for a couple minutes each. And yeah, that's about it. This is my first time discussing this on YouTube, so yeah. By the way, Shokura, I know you're not going to check this out right away, but if you're watching this, hi. So first up is The Wrong Side of the Tracks. This is basically just the amusement park episode where it's mainly on the roller coaster. There is the side plot where Lumpy tries to fix it. Well, fix a part of it, that is. And everyone pretty much just straight up dies. Then again, that's like the theme of the show, so. It's a simple episode to introduce every character since this is the first episode that was aired on TV. It's nothing special in my opinion. Definitely not bad at all. In terms of a score out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's quite good. Quite good. From Hero to Eternity. So this is the first episode that introduces Splendid. And this is the episode where Giggles, Toothy, and I think Cuddles or one other character. They get stuck in that giant snowball, and Splendid for the rest of the episode just tries to stop it. And this is also the episode where Pop and Cub make technically their first appearance. I mean, were they in the wrong side of the tracks? I don't remember, but they were here, and I won't spoil what happens to Cub, but it is pretty shocking. So, anyway. Splendid is cool. I like him. He's a good character. In this episode, though, what can I say? Like, there is that scene where, like, there's, like, a flood going on after melting, I think, the snowball, and Splendid has to drill a hole in the middle of the ground. That looked pretty cool when a bunch of the characters were actually swirling. Like, we got to see the mole, I think, Lifty and Shifty, so good stuff. Good stuff. I'm trying to think of what else to say. I don't know. I got nothing, y'all. So for this episode, I'll give it the same score, 7 out of 10. So that's it. Oh boy, and the kitchen sink. Where do I begin with you? So this episode mainly stars Pop and Cub, and yeah, I have a bit to talk about with this episode. So this episode starts with innocently Pop and Cub like walking through the park or something. But when Pop lets go of the wagon that Cub was in to light his pipe, the smoking pipe, the wagon pretty much goes it pretty much just gets loose. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, it pretty much rolls on its own. And then Cub pretty much, the wagon stops at one point from like crashing into a small block. And then Cub is flying over like a spiky bush into a mud puddle. And while Pop goes through it, getting a bit injured while doing that because he didn't realize he could walk around it, he's just glad that Cub is okay. Then it cuts to the two of them in the kitchen, actually, while Pop is getting the sink ready for the tub. However, when Pop actually puts Cub in the sink, he actually takes a quick phone call, and he left the water way too hot, and it actually burned off Cub's fur, which, let me say this, I feel nothing but absolute sorrow for Cub. Like, he is such a precious character. So, anyway, Pop tries to cool the water down by getting a bunch of frozen stuff from his freezer, and it does work, and he even calms Cub down with a rubber ducky. And then it's fine for the most part for the next minute. Like, Pop starts washing Cub, but then the lights flicker, and then Pop tries to fix the light, but he actually flicks the wrong light switch. And do you, ladies and gentlemen, want to know what kind of switch that is? It was the switch for the garbage disposal, so he accidentally turns it on, and when he quickly finds out, he turns it off. And, I won't go into too much detail here, but all I will say is, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, so. Anyway, so Pop's solution after trying to go under the sink is to get into his car and tie a rope around Cub, which somehow kind of works, but it tore out the entire sink. And then he drives off to a waterfall somewhat, and then Cub does fall out of the tub after, like, the car stopping. And while Pop is getting the rope up, it was actually in front of some glass from the windshield being broken. So, while he does that, he unintentionally cuts it, and then Cub falls back into the sink while it's in water, and then the entire car falls, but thankfully the both of them didn't get hurt that time. Then there's a waterfall, and then there's a moment where Cub looks like he's dead, but actually nope, he's somehow still alive. And then it cuts back to the house where Pop actually makes sure the water temperature for the bathtub this time is fine, and when he actually puts Cub down, here's the thing. He goes to get the phone again because he heard another call, but when he comes back, Cub drowned because he didn't stop the water. Yeah, now, I could tolerate, like, most of this episode fine, but some parts of this I can't really stand, and yeah, so. I can't say I outright love this, but it's not really bad. So, you know what, for the 5 out of 10. Again, I could tolerate it. It's not bad. It's just Cub didn't deserve any of this at all. Poor, poor Cub. All right, now we're on to an episode that I actually love, Party Animal. So, this is mainly the episode where Flaky and her friends are preparing for a birthday party for Flippy. And there's at one point near the beginning of the episode where Flaky accidentally gets her peanut allergy going, and Nutty, who was around, actually sees this, and instead of, oh, I don't know, trying to help Flaky get to an ambulance or the hospital, he literally pushes her aside because Nutty wanted a big plate of chocolate chips that he saw that Flaky wouldn't let him have. So Nutty literally pushes her aside and goes for the chocolate chips and eats all of it, and then they had to cut to Lumpy walking Flaky out of the hospital after treating her. Then it cuts back to the house, and we see a fair amount of the characters, like there's Sniffles, Cuddles. The mole sets up a pin the tail on the donkey poster, Toothy, and a few others. Then Flippy enters, and then I did hear that they couldn't use the Happy Birthday song without paying royalties because it wasn't in the public domain yet, so they had to use the song for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. And after that, oh yeah, there's this scene. I say this because this was before the song. There's this gag where Nutty constantly adds sugar to the punch bowl, and I find it just funny. Like, Nutty goes from having a little bit of sugar to a lot of sugar to overflowing the bowl with sugar and adding an entire packet of sugar. Like a giant bag of sugar. I think that's hilarious. And one little taste of that concoction is enough for him to spin. And at one point, while Flippy was serving cake to everyone, while Nutty was near Flaky, because he was near the blender, I think, some peanuts get into her mouth, and then she has an allergic reaction again. And when she pops the balloons, this triggers Flippy's PTSD side, aka Flickpy. And then he starts going on a murderous rampage, basically killing everybody, other than Flaky and the mole. And yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Notice how I said he doesn't go for Flaky and the mole, because while Flaky was obviously a sitting duck due to her allergic reaction, he actually goes for, like, after getting Cuddles, Toothy, Mime, Nutty, I think one other character, I'm not sure, other than Sniffles, I know that. No, I think that was it. After getting those two people, the only three people were Mole, Flaky, and Sniffles, and he goes for Sniffles. So, anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, he basically kills all of them, and the mole is the one who actually kills Flaky because he unintentionally pops her with the pin from, the pin the tail on the donkey game. Then Flippy returns to normal and somehow doesn't notice he somehow doesn't notice all the bloodshed and drinks the drink from the blender. Somehow then he gets an allergic reaction. It's a crazy episode, but honestly, an 8 out of 10. I love it. Great episode. Ipso Fatso, I don't have a ton to talk about because it's basically Disco Bear trying to lose weight. That's about it. He's basically trying to lose weight. I haven't seen this in a while, so I don't really remember it too well. So, alright, it's pretty solid. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Don't Yank My Chain. That's the episode where it stars Handy and the Mole. And there's... Okay, I definitely have not seen this in quite some time, so I don't remember what exactly goes on. Other than I know Lifty and Shifty are in it, and they assume Mole and Handy's identity. So... yeah. I know the two of them are basically on the run somewhat, but, like, I legit don't... I haven't seen this episode enough to remember the plot and everything, so... 6. It's good. It's just, I don't remember too much. Doggone it, that's the episode with the dog. And, Excuse me. I don't like the dog. Not because he's a bad character, but it's when he becomes vicious. And yeah, so. Again, not a bad episode by any means. It's perfectly tolerable, but I just don't really have a ton to talk about with it, so. This will also just get a 6 out of 10. It's pretty good. Okay, here's something I actually know. Concrete Solution. So this is the episode where it's mainly Handy, Lumpy, and one other character trying to work on a bridge. Like a concrete bridge. But there's a beginning plot where it cuts to a diner. And Nani at one point, after seeing an entire pantry full of sugar packets, like again, the big bags like I mentioned earlier with Party Animal, Nani actually takes one of them, but there seems to be a little bit of a mix-up. Because while he's on his way home, he unintentionally bumps into someone and then takes the bag of concrete. I think it was actually Lumpy. So Lumpy takes the bag full of sugar instead, and this causes a bit of trouble. Because the bridge actually doesn't stand stable too much after it's done being built. And that's about it. Then Nutty practically devours all the powdered concrete, but after drinking a glass of water, his stomach becomes hard as concrete, and he had to be taken to, well, he was in an ambulance with sniffles. And while they were on the way to the hospital, there's a bit of an accident, and Nutty gets out of the truck and is being held on by the two pieces of the bridge that are actually being held together by Nutty. But Nutty keeps eating it, so, yeah, and he splits apart, so. Very good episode. I don't have a ton to talk about with it, other than what I just mentioned, so. 7 out of 10. It's quite good. Yeah, ha ha ha! See what I found! So this is the episode where Russell and Lumpy try to find a treasure chest after finding a map. And Lifty and Shifty are trying to stop them. That's it. This has some nautical nonsense or seafull shenanigans. I'm trying to think of a sea-themed pun because I like Russell. That's about it. It's just a fun episode. I don't have a lot to say. Yeah, there's some nonsense that goes on with it, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of self-explanatory somewhat. So in terms of a score, you know what? 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Easy for you to slay. This is the... Okay, I think I know what this is. So, yeah, I know this is the Christmas episode. It features on Pop and Cub at first, then it cuts to Lifty and Shifty trying to rob Flippy's house. And apparently, while Lifty and Shifty steal practically everything except the Christmas cookies on Flippy's lap while he's asleep, mind you, he doesn't wake up by any of it except for when the thieves steal, I think the cookies are one of them, and the smallest little crumb that drops on the ground actually wakes Flippy up. And then, oh, sorry, the screen. And then Flickby activates, and then he basically doesn't go easy on the two of them at all. So, yeah, it's a good Christmas special. I don't have a ton to talk about with it, so. 7 out of 10. Okay, wishy-washy. This is a interesting episode. So this is mainly focused on Petunia and Lumpy for the most part. So, yeah, this is the episode where Petunia has some kind of mold growing in her house and Lumpy tries to actually stop it. And this is definitely infamous for the death of Petunia in particular at the very end of the episode. Now, I'm not actually going to talk about it because it might be a little too gruesome, but just look it up. Hi, Christina. Welcome. Yeah, just look it up. There's a, well, not a official, but there's a re-upload of the episode online if you want to look it up. But view at your own risk. So, I don't have a lot to talk about other than it's a good episode that features Petunia. So, honestly, I've seen this one quite a lot. 8 out of 10. Who's to Flame? Okay, so this is the episode that features Mime. Okay, so... Sorry. Yeah, it has Mime in it. So it starts off with Petunia making pancakes, but then when she gets a call from the phone, she leans a bit too close to the stove, catches on fire, But when Giggles puts a blanket around Petunia, the fire stops momentarily before actually getting worse and actually getting to Giggles this time. And then Mime spends nearly an entire minute trying to call 911. Okay, it's like nearly 30 seconds trying to call 911. And I think it's funny how he literally had to stop for a moment just to remember what the final number for 1 is. I just think that's funny. So, Lumpy is the one that answers, and he, I apologize, this is a little bit cropped. I'm leaning back while trying to talk, so I don't break my back. Anyway, so Lumpy's the one who actually answers the phone, and he does hear the screaming, but he doesn't like do anything other than that. So Mime pretty much hangs up and leaves the house, and he does go to the other firefighters. Mainly, it's Cuddles, Toothy, and Sniffles. While Cuddles is rescuing a cat from a tree, Mime tries to tell Toothy and Sniffles, but the two of them don't believe anything he's saying, and Sniffles even does the cuckoo emotion or motion like this. He's cuckoo. But however, it's actually Cuddles that notices the fire from a distance. So anyway, everyone pretty much leaves. But however, when Disco Bear starts to drive off in the truck, Cuddles is still on the ladder. He falls and gets impaled by the fence around the tree. But the cat's actually safe and fine. So anyway, Toothy, who gets an axe in the truck, tries to break into the house. But Petunia's accidentally in front of the door, and yeah, so anyway, the mole actually gets the fire hose ready, but he unintentionally gets it ready into the gas container rather than the water container. I don't know how fire trucks work. I'll just say the hole that you put the gasoline into. So I'll just say gas tank. So he hooks it up to the gas tank, and it makes things worse. However, Handy in a helicopter actually puts out one of the houses that was on fire from the thing going on, and things just get worse. So, and then basically everyone is dead because at some point, how did the mole Mole he fell into the sewer while trying to walk, and he I don't know, it's hard to explain. So Mime is the only one left alongside the cat, and then he just quietly does this. He's just walking into the floor. Definitely a very good episode. I don't have any flaws with this whatsoever, so 7 out of 10. It's a good Mime episode. Every little bit hurts. Okay, so this is the one where Giggles is up against Lumpy for Lumpy polluting the environment. And this episode definitely has a good message, because, it's good to try and actually make sure the environment is clean and everything, and I love that. So, it's nice that Giggles tries to get help from Pop, the Mole, and Sniffles, even if it doesn't turn out too well. And, yeah, Lumpy's just basically a chaotic mess in this episode. I don't have a ton to talk about with it. It's a very good episode. It has a great message, and I don't know. You know what? 8 out of 10. As you wish. Okay, so this is the episode where Lumpy becomes practically the genie from Aladdin. I mean, not really, but you get the idea. Where he grants any wish. I haven't seen this in a little while, so I don't remember exactly what happens, but I think Pop and Cub are in it, Nutty's in it, and I think Lifty and Shifty are in it. So that's really bad. It's fine, really. Not bad. I'm only gonna give it a 6. Not a bad episode, but just not really one I go to when it comes to episodes from the TV season I would watch. Take a Hike is another really good episode in my opinion. So it's basically Lumpy, Toothy, Cuddles, Flaky, Petunia, Sniffles, and Nutty on some kind of nature hike, I guess, and there's shenanigans happening, like, I'm trying to go in order when I review these episodes front to back, by the way, so I apologize if I get something wrong. So, first up is where, what does happen first? I know, like, again, I'm legitimately trying to go in order. I'm trying not to, like, go out of order. Yeah, what the heck? Okay, you know what? Fuck it, I don't care. So, anyway, yeah, there's some stuff that happens while Toothy is trying to set up a tent with Cuddles. He gets bitten by a snake, and while Lumpy appears and tries to get rid of the poison from his arm, um, Lumpy does an interesting thing, and he unintentionally spits it into Cuddles' eyeballs, causing Cuddles' eyes to bleed. So then, at some point, Sniffles gets a fire going, but he unintentionally gets himself burned. But thankfully, Lumpy puts it out. Oh, okay, yeah, Flaky. It's Flaky that got the problem done first. Cause, okay, so this is actually the first thing that really does happen. So Flaky sees a bird that dropped from its nest from a tree, and being sorry about it, Flaky actually gets the bird and tries to put it back into its nest. However, though, somehow the nest and the bird practically fall, and all the eggs are practically dead. So while Flaky tries to brush it off, the parent bird, or mama bird, if you want to say that, practically swoops in and gets Flaky. And long story short, later on in the episode, Flaky becomes the new nest. Just letting you know. So yeah, then Toothy, Cuddles, and Sniffles, and then yeah, those characters are practically injured, leaving Petunia and Nutty as the only other ones that are fine for now. However, while Petunia becomes dehydrated at some point, she literally sees a toxic river, and she drinks it, and then immediately dies afterward. So, then Nutty sees a beehive, and then pretty much eats up every single ounce of honey from it. Thankfully, he didn't get stung by any bees. And then, while trying to find something to brush off his face, because it got everywhere, he accidentally runs into a bear. And while Nutty tries to not brush it off. Nutty tries to make it seem like he didn't mean to do that on purpose. The bear slashes Nutty, and then Nutty becomes multiple pieces, and then the bear somehow goes after Lumpy, who didn't even do anything. Yeah. But I want to say this, by the way, this doesn't have anything to do with the episode, but ever since I was a kid, I never once went camping. Not because we couldn't go, not because we didn't have the tools and everything for it, but it's actually because of this one thing. I didn't want to go because of dealing with bears. That's it. So, even nowadays, I don't plan on going camping, but if I do, I want to go in a woods where it's completely bear-free. So anyway, there's a long chase of the bear chasing Lumpy, and in the end, Lumpy somehow went across a wooden bridge while carrying the thing full of his friends' corpses. It burns, cutting the rope, and then, etc. Really, I don't want to go too much into detail because I think y'all kind of get the point with this. So, anyway, Take a Hike is another episode that gets an 8 out of 10 ranking. I do feel bad for some of the characters that get brutally killed in this episode, but then again, I know it's just a formula of the show. So yeah, anyway. Snow Place to Go. Snow Place to Go. What is this episode? Hang on, let me see. Real quick. I'm off screen real quick, so hold on. Yes, No Place to Go. When is that episode? If you could see my screen up there, give me one moment. Hold on. No Place to Go. No Place to Go. Oh, okay, I remember now. Okay, so this is where Russell and company practically get stranded on a icy island. Well, a frozen sea. Okay, I remember now. I don't have a ton to talk about, but it's a fun episode, and it has a neat premise. I like it. Yeah, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I don't have a ton to talk about with it. Alright, done. Oh, Charlie, Hinotes? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, but I'll just call you Charlie for short. Hi, Charlie. Welcome. Anyway. Okay, so Once Upon a Time. So, okay, this episode is, the one where, it's based off, I think Jack and the Beanstalk, primarily, so, yeah. So Nutty gets some strange beans from Lifty and Shifty, and upon eating them, thinking that they're jelly. What's the stream about? It's all just call me Charlie. Okay, so it's okay. So Charlie, I'm ranking every Happy Tree Friends episode that was aired on TV. There's around 30. So, yeah. That's pretty much what I've been doing so far. So anyway, after Nutty eats the... Oh yeah, spoilers in case you haven't seen any of these. I mean, you probably haven't, so this may be weird out of context. Oh, cool. Thank you. So, just don't mind me. I'm practically just talking while we're ranking here. So anyway, after Nutty eats the beans that look like jelly beans... Oh, it's actually a beanstalk that actually grows, and since Giggles is actually the one that knows about this and who practically lived with Nutty in this scenario, she actually gets up the beanstalk, and then... How long have you been streaming for? I've been streaming for 30 minutes so far, Charlie. So, but it's not really that long. Yeah. So Giggles goes up, and then he counters some of the characters that are actually being used as cooking ingredients for Lumpy, who's supposed to be the giant in this episode. Oh, nice. Yeah, thank you. And she tries to get everyone free, but it fails. So, and she does thankfully escape, and actually does cut the beanstalk down. So, I don't really have a lot more to say, but it's a good spoof of... Well, again, I'm assuming it's Jack and the Beanstalk. This is parodying. I mean, I know how the plot goes, but... Let's see. City Boy? What do you mean, Chicken Dormer? What is your favorite episode? I mean, I haven't really gotten any that are up to a 9 or 10 out of 10 yet, so if you want to stay tuned for that, Charlie, then go on ahead. If not, then... Like, if you have to leave at some point... if you want to come back and check this out when the stream is fully uploaded, then you could probably skip to the end where I mention, like, what's the 10 out of 10 best episode so far. So, alright, I'll stay in support. Alright, no big deal. If you have to go at some point because you're tired or you need to leave or whatever, then I completely understand. No big deal. So, where do I put Once Upon a Time? I like the sub. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Simple. 7 out of 10. Gems the Breaks. Okay, so... this is something I literally just now... Wait, do you live in Canada? No, I don't live in Canada. I live in the United States, but not specifically in Canada. I guess that's where you're from? I mean, that's cool. I don't know anybody that's from Canada. So... Yeah, so Jumps the Breaks is basically the Splendid versus Lifty and Shifty episode, if you want to say that. Do they have the same time? Oh, time zone. Well, I mainly live close to New York, and I'm not sure what the difference is for the time zone between this and Canada. I don't know the prior research. And I am from Canada. Oh, that's cool. Nice. That's pretty cool. I know this did, like, this did a Superman parody because they literally made the kryptonite object in this episode the kryptonut. So, anyway, Lifty and Shifty get their hands on it, mess around with Splendid until Splendid actually gets rid of the two of them. And while he does actually, thankfully, crush and blow it away, the wind blows it back towards him, and yeah, so... What time is it for you? It is 11:26 at night, so... You might be an hour or two behind or ahead of me, but I'm not sure, though. So, yeah, no idea. You can let me know if you want to. In terms of this episode, though, I don't have a lot more to talk about, but it's another good one. 7 out of 10. I don't have a ton to talk about with it. And it's not really an episode, again, I would go to, but definitely a good one for sure. A Change of Heart. So, alright, this is the one where Disco Bear practically gets heart surgery. And, okay, this is another one I don't have a ton to talk about with. Oh yeah, we have the same time, so I might be sleepy and go to bed. Alright, no big deal. Thank you anyway, Charlie, for, stopping by if you have to leave. So, this will be here when, you want to check it out, so. Okay, you're welcome. Alright, thank you. I'll see you later. What can I say about this episode? Yeah, it's mainly Lumpy trying to get the replacement heart, but shenanigans happen. It's kind of not as good as Ipso Fatso, where at least that was a fun pace kind of episode, if you want to say that. Um, but still, it's not like, you know, but I'll stay. Oh, okay, gotcha. But I'll say this though, Charlie. If you're tired and you really need to leave, then honestly, you deserve to get some sleep instead of hearing me ramble about Happy Tree Friends for however I'll slon this stream will go on. So, I mean, this could somewhat be content to help you sleep, but adjust your volume so that way I don't be too loud. If you want to, though, that is. So, anyway. Yeah, I guess Ipso Fatso just had a better execution, if you want to say that, compared to A Change of Heart. What is the most viewers you've ever had? I'm not gonna go too far into this. I mean, I know this is a live stream, not exactly like a video production Q&A, but I actually did a review for the Bluey VTech Ring phone, and that has over 100,000 views. And this is on my third YouTube channel, because my previous two didn't really do so well. Well, okay, my first one, I barely did any content on. I already made 2 videos about them. And for the second one, that was Bakugan themed, I actually took it down around the time Kappa acted in 2019, because I didn't want to deal with that. And this account I've had since 2021. Oh, wow, nice. Yeah, thank you. And I made that video at the time because nobody did a review for it, and I thought I would, and I'm genuinely surprised that it did so well view-wise, so yeah. I'm actually happy about that. That's definitely the most viewed video I've ever made in YouTube, in my YouTube career. If you want to check that out, go on ahead. It's a short video, but it's pretty simple. So, yeah, anyway. I don't really have a lot more to say about A Change of Heart, so. A whole lot of love. Okay, so, this is the episode where Cub, quote-unquote, falls into a well, but not really, and Pop has to try and find him. You have a nice voice, by the way. Oh, thank you. I know, like, I mean, I'm an adult. I'm a 25-year-old adult, and I don't really sound like that low-pitched, if you want to say that. I don't know. I still sound young to you, and I guess other people who think of that, but I'm not sure, though. But my voice can change, like, whether it could be somewhat high-pitched or low-pitched or something like that. Okay, so I did that on purpose, so. Yeah. In terms of the episode, A Whole Lot of Love, it's fine. I don't have it nice, but I'm, I'll come back to you on that one, Charlie. Yeah, it's fine. I don't have a lot to talk about. I'm 11? Oh. Well, if you're 11, you probably shouldn't be watching my channel, because my channel isn't really made for kids. I'm just saying, because I'm literally talking about a show that I know may sound family-friendly, but trust me, Charlie, it's not. So, yeah. I would advise you to leave. I mean, sure, the VTech review, I didn't curse or anything in it, but, yeah, I guess it's, like, the most family-friendly video you're gonna get, so. I apologize, Charlie. I mean, I'll try not to curse until you leave. I mean, I didn't really curse so much so far, so. Yeah, again, but the show I'm talking about, it's mostly for teenagers, at least, so. Yeah, again, it does sound family-friendly, but trust me, it's not. Only for one reason, so. Okay, my bad. I hope you have a great night. Alright, thank you, Charlie. You can say subscribe to my channel. It's just that be careful of the content that you see. Because, again, I'm 25, and I don't really touch content. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me start that. You could say subscribe to my channel, but, like, don't check out anything too much that is, don't... I don't know, just be careful, I guess, of the content. I mean, my content's not made for kids, because I tend to curse and stuff like that, so I'm just letting you know. I legit did not know that, so. Anyway, thank you for understanding, Charlie. I guess I'll see what content you have when this is finished, so. Yeah, anyway. Again, you can say subscribe, but just wait a while before you check out any content I made. Wait till you're at least you're 18 or something. I don't know though. Okay. I'm sorry. Back to the episode. A whole lot of love. Eh, 6. It's fine. Not bad. Just, I don't know. Okay. So, Mime to 5, the popular Mime episode, and I can understand why. So, this is definitely the most unique, I would say, Mime episode yet, because it's Mime practically trying to get a job that isn't him being a mime already, because we see him being a fast food worker, to a cleaning guy, to being a part of the circus, and yeah, it's a well-executed episode so far. Like, there was an actual figure made from this episode, and it's pretty popular, and I can understand why. So, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Yeah, best one so far, technically. A Blast from the Past. This is the one where Sniffles goes back in time over and over again to stop the deaths of Cuddles, Giggles, and Lumpy. I have seen this only once, so I don't exactly remember it too much. I do appreciate what Sniffles does. 6, only because I haven't seen this in a long time. Juice in a Mouthful. Oh, okay, this is a good one. So, Nutty, at one point in a supermarket near the beginning of the episode, finds a jawbreaker, and he cracks his jaw by biting onto it. And for the rest of the episode, his jaw is practically broken, and he's trying to get another taste of the jawbreaker. It's an Ed and Eddie reference, yeah, but honestly, this is something I want to mention. I never once got into Ed and Eddie. I don't get the whole hype behind it. That's just my opinion, but this is I guess a neat reference to that series, because, you know, the Eds are into Jawbreakers, and Nutty in this episode isn't the Jawbreakers, so. Good episode. I don't have a lot to say. 8 out of 10. See what develops. See what develops. Is this... Hold on. Is this the episode where Russell gets contacts? Let me see. No, that's Cypher Soul Rise. What's Secret Develop? Oh, okay. The Splendid newspaper or whatever episode. I saw this only once or twice, and this is the first one where I don't really remember what it is. I know it has something to do with Splendid, being like, he's like the Clark Kent of the Happy Tree Friends world, if you want to say that, because, like, he's trying to be undercover, you know, since he's the superhero, quote-unquote, of the series. So, yeah, I just don't remember too much about it to place it on this list. I mean, if I remembered it well, it would have definitely gotten a good score, but I just don't have a ton to talk about with it. Idle Curiosity. Okay, so it's where Sniffles, Giggles, and Flaky try to get the idol and work, but the idol's curse or whatever constantly follows Sniffles and company until Giggles and Flaky are dead. Trying to think of what to say. 6. It's a fine enough episode. Don't have a lot to say. Home is where the hurt is. Okay, so this is the episode where Handy and a few other characters build a house that doesn't take long at all. And the entire episode is practically them trying to get out. That's about it. So, yeah, it's got some good moments here and there, and it's actually revealed to be Lumpy, who, while messing around with a paper crane, or an origami crane, rather, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. He folds the blueprints into a crane, and that's how the outer part of the house got its design. And I say that because when Handy left, the actual house's design was a crane. So, yeah. I have a lot more to say. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Aw shucks. This is the episode where Lumpy tries to show off his giant, ear of corn for some kind of food contest. Again, I saw this episode only once or twice, and I don't have a ton to talk about with it, so it's pretty good from what I remember. Eh. I don't remember it too much. Again, I know the plot and everything, but I just legit don't know it enough to rank it on this list. If I actually knew more about it, it would either be in 6 or 7 out of 10. And no, do not do the meme. That was not an open invitation. Okay, so this is the episode I mentioned earlier. Aside for Sore Eyes. So, earlier for, which one was it? It's one of these. I legit don't remember the title anymore. Anyway. I'll see what develops. Like that one, I mentioned that this is, Aside for Sore Eyes. That's the episode where Russell gets contacts. It's a good episode, and I definitely have seen it more than twice, so I do know what this is about, but because it's been just a while, I'm not gonna have a ton to talk about with it, but it's definitely not gonna rank in the haven't seen or don't remember tier. If I were to, put this on this list, I would probably, you know what, 7 out of 10. Good ranking. Wipeout. So, this is the one where Crow Marmot gets a starring role, and it's mainly the surfing competition. There, 7 out of 10. No. I'll talk. So, yeah, it's basically the surfing competition, and again, Crow Marmot's trying to impress Giggles and Petunia, and practically the rest of the crowd that's in there, but Lumpy is the main competitor, and there is this actually kind of awesome moment where Flaky, who's a part of the competition, and her board, which accidentally has blood on it, it actually attracts a lot of sharks. And there's this awesome moment where she literally gets out of there and away from every single shark, and I love it. However, while onto a small island being safe, she does casually die from something minor, and that does honestly suck. She didn't deserve that. Yeah, Crow Marmot does win, and that's about it. Crow Marmot is probably my least favorite character, because I don't really know what to even say about him. I mean, he's just a caveman who's stuck in an ice cube who's somehow sentient. He's not a bad character, I just don't really like him that much. He's just more or less like an alright-ish kind of character, but I'll say this, though. The closest thing for me liking him, other than this episode, would have to be the Dinosaur Days episode, because that was like a prequel to when he was alive. So, I mean, he still is alive, but I'm just saying. Yeah, okay, I said that 7 out of 10. Better Late Than Never. This is the episode where Lumpy tries to get, his mail delivered for other people, and he constantly gets attacked by this turtle. And that's pretty much the plot. Not kidding with you. 7 out of 10. Winging It. Okay, I love this episode quite a lot, and there's a reason for it. So, this is the airplane episode where Flaky and a few other characters, including Lumpy, yes, are actually on an airplane. Right off the bat, that's right up my alley, because I'm a sucker for travel-themed content, and again, this is right up my alley, because I'm very interested in travel in general, even though I don't really do travel that much, but I'm just saying. And this episode is relatable for me right off the bat, and it has my favorite character, Flaky, in it. That's like a match made in heaven, kind of. So, it's a simple episode. It's mainly just Sniffles, who's the pilot, trying to get everyone to a destination, but in the end, it doesn't go so well. Yeah, it doesn't have a ton for me to talk about in terms of, like, what happens, but it's its overall presentation that really works with me. So, yeah, you know what? 10 out of 10. Especially since, like, I've seen this episode quite a lot. Now, this isn't, like, the greatest thing since Dad Baby Bluey episode type of 10 out of 10, but it's definitely a very, very good score. Easily like the best episode of the series so far. Um Again, it has Flaky, who's my favorite character. And it's got a fun idea. And overall, yeah, I love this episode a lot. Yeah, definitely the best one so far. Alright, we are almost done. Tongue in cheek. This is the controversial episode where Sniffles deals with the ants, and I hate to tell you all this, I haven't seen this one yet. Now, the reason why I say this is controversial is because of the way that Sniffles dies, and the ants being permanently removed. Because if... Is there any more bubbly left in here? No? Okay. Because if anyone doesn't know, Sniffles has a more than usual gruesome death, and I have heard that the creators, Ken Navarro and whoever else, actually admitted they went too far, but they never actually really admitted it, so it's more of a hoax or a rumor, if you want to say that. So, yeah, I don't really remember okay, I haven't seen this episode, but I do know its controversy and its plot. But I'm not really too invested to check it out either. Hi, Sappy TV, what's up? Welcome. So, again, I get the controversy, but if I did see this episode, I could probably tolerate it perfectly fine. Although I would feel very bad for Sniffles. Easy Comb, Easy Go. This is the episode where Disco Bear tries to get a new hairdo. And in the end, it kind of works. This is probably the second best Disco Bear episode so far. What show are you doing? Well, I'm not doing a show. I'm ranking every Happy Tree Friends episode from the TV season, because there's around 30, and I'm already almost done. So, you're a bit late to the party if you want to say that, but don't worry, this stream will be public and archived. So, if you want to check out the full stream, then just wait till this is fully uploaded and then go check it out. I do know, though, the part where, like, after Disco Bear pretty much dives into a whole tub full of that hair products that Lifty and Shifty sold him, like, when a hair grows out of Disco Bear's eye. That was actually part of a dream that one of the writers had, and once he woke up, he immediately wrote it down. And yeah, it's a neat way to bring that into the episode. Ooh, is that not a YouTube show? Yes and no. Technically, yes. Because the show was on the internet for all this time. And also no, because this season that I'm actually talking about was actually on TV networks at the time. So this was like in the 2000s. So yeah, but I will say this, though. If you do want to check out any of these episodes, then yeah, you can check them out for free. I'm not kidding. Check out Happy Tree Friends HD. That's the channel where it has every TV episode. They have all 3 segments together and around, I think, 10 or something episodes. Or, again, you can check them out individually. It's up to you. And, yeah, that's how I found out about this. So, anyway. Yeah, I don't have a ton more to say about Easy Comb, Easy Go. It's another good Disco Bear episode. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I've got you under my skin. This is the episode where Sniffles tries to cure Giggles' sickness, and I don't have a ton to talk about with this, but it's another good episode. Same ranking, 7 out of 10. I'm trying to think. Hold on. Yeah, I got nothing so far on what to talk about. I definitely have seen this. I just don't know what to say about it. In a jam, I'm going to get my one and only negative out of the way with this episode. Cuddles when his blood is being drawn by the mole improperly and painfully, by the way. Like, that is so cringeworthy, and I feel really sad for Cuddles. Like, just seeing him constantly being in pain from the needle, like, that, no kidding, almost made me cry, like, 1 or 2 times. I mean, yeah, I know it's the mole and he's not obviously doing it intentionally, but still, like, just seeing that. Anyway. Outside of that only one negative, this is a great episode, because it's basically Cuddles trying to be in a rock band with not Toothy, Handy and Lumpy after Russell practically dies from getting a guitar string, um, stuck in his eye. Well, it's cut, but I'm trying not to be too descriptive here. But yeah. I do know that the, episode did have real instruments being played, and that's actually kind of impressive, because it's kind of an honor, because this episode definitely had some effort put into it, and I do know Shokora, from what I've heard, he doesn't like this episode, and yeah, I get why, but on the other hand, like, honestly, I don't know why. Okay, on one hand, I get it, on the other hand, I don't. Yeah, it's a fun episode to check out. You only 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Again, that one negative does... I mean, it wouldn't get a 10 out of 10 anyway, but just that one negative is so cringy to look at. But anyway. Junk in the Trunk. This is the episode where Lumpy has an elephant and tries to keep it as his own pet, but then Lifty and Shifty get involved. I haven't seen this in a while, but I remember it being pretty solid. And 7. Again, it's simple. Like, again, well, not again. Again, I have seen this, just like I got you under my skin, but I just don't have a lot to talk about with it. Here today, gone tomorrow. Okay, so we're on the final 3, and this is the Flippy trilogy, if you want to say that. Because from here on out, this is all about Flippy trying to overcome his PTSD side, or Flickby, if you want to say that. Here today, gone tomorrow, I don't remember too much, other than I know there's some stuff like Flippy at the amusement park, and trying to get some meditation going to try and cure the Flickby side. That's really all I remember. Or was that in Double Whammy? Hold on. I'm trying to go by thumbnail here. Hold on. Oh, that's Double Whammy. Okay, never mind. Here today, gone tomorrow. I have seen this, but guys, I'm sorry. I don't remember Here Today, Gone Tomorrow that much. Again, I know this is the part 1 of the Flippy versus Flickby trilogy, but I just don't know too much about it to rank it. If I knew more about it, I would have given it a 7 or 8 out of 10, but I just don't have a ton to talk about. So anyway, no, Double Whammy, that's the episode I was talking about. I already said my thoughts on it, so 7 out of 10. So, Autopsy Turvy is the final episode we are going to talk about for this live stream, and we've been at this for a while, so... Anyway. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Really? Autopsy Turvy? Isn't that the episode where Cuddles and Toothy innocently play along with Crow Marmot? Well, it's the fake it at the beginning, but we quickly find out it's Double Whammy Part 2. The fake it is funny, and it is cool that we actually get it in general for Toothy's title card, because he didn't get one. And yeah, the name does look cool, or sound cool. But yeah, this is the whole fight scene where Flippy goes up against Flickby. And it is pretty damn brutal, I will say that. And in the end, Flippy wins. You know what? 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Alright, so that is everything, and we are at this for barely an hour. Now, I'm just going to quickly go over, see if there's anything that I might have missed or something like that. And I'll wrap this up with my closing thoughts. So, yeah, wow, interesting. I wouldn't expect this, but yeah, Winging is now my favorite episode, and Autopsy Turvy is my second favorite. So anyway. Yeah, Mime to 5 and a Jam are fine where they are. Nah, Party Animal I'm going to put here. I think that's good. I'm only putting See What I Found a little bit lower just because it's, like, the less viewed of the bunch. That's all. Um, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the 7 out of 10 segments do look good so far. Hmm. I'm putting these two lower again just because they're like the less viewed of the two, or of the bunch. And the same goes with Blast from the Past. Actually, no, a whole lot of love I'm going to place lower just because it's an episode that has Pop being a little bit unlikable. But again, that doesn't make the episode bad. I still said it's a good 6 out of 10. So, and as for the final 4 options, yeah, the first 2 are fine. Okay, all these are actually fine, really. So yeah, in general, outside of the bottom 4, which are in the haven't seen or don't remember category, this list I actually do agree with. So my favorite episode is Winging It, and my least favorite is And the Kitchen Sink. So, although there aren't any episodes I would outright say are bad. Like, And the Kitchen Sink isn't a bad episode, it's just decent. But I can tolerate it fine, other than some scenes, so. Yeah, alright, that's it. That is every Happy Tree Friends TV season episode ranked. I am finally done. And I don't have a lot more to say. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this. And again, Shokura, I know you're probably not going to get your hands on this live stream, but if you somehow do, then you're welcome for me making this in the first place. If anyone is wondering if I'm going to do this for the internet episodes, no, there are way too many, and I don't really plan on doing them, so, as far as I'm aware of. So, if I ever feel like doing it at some point, then that's just going to be me practically begging to... That'll probably just be me, begging, like, guys, are you sure I should do a live stream covering every internet episode? Because, again, there's over, like, 200 or something, or 100. No, definitely over 200, I think. So, for Pokemon, that's one thing, but for Happy Tree Friends, that's way too much for me to talk about, so... Yeah. I don't have a lot more to say, but this was fun to make, although the tier list I had to make myself, but thankfully it didn't take too long. And yeah, that's about it. I'm pretty much done. In terms of the Sinnoh Pokemon ranking, I'll try and get that done this upcoming weekend, but we'll see though. If I don't get it done by then just expect it at some point. It's not going to be too long from now. Fun fact, I already have that in the Unova, or Unova. I have Gen 4 and 5 ranking thumbnails done already, so... I'll get to work on Gen 4 at some point this weekend, but if I don't get around to it, then definitely at some point in the future. But it won't be too bad for you guys to wait. So, yeah, that's it. Alright, I'm done. So, I will see y'all later. Thank y'all for watching. I'm Colin Astro Healer. I'll see you later with whatever we do next time. And that'll be all for now.